Hey guys, what's up? I know it's been such a long time since I made a video, and I said I was gonna start making videos more often, and I kind of lied about that. I've just been super lazy and uninspired, but I figured I'm gonna try and vlog today because I am actually going to Warped Tour, and it's actually my first Warped Tour. And if you guys are familiar with Warped Tour or anything, you would know that like this is basically like their last tour. It's their 25th anniversary tour. I'm going to the Cleveland show, which is like the smallest show. Like there's only like 7 bands performing, and there was a limited amount of tickets sold, so it's not going to be as crazy and hectic as a normal Warped Tour is. But I'm just going for the experience, and because it's at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I enjoy going to, and because I'm going to be meeting Charles Drippy today, which if you guys are familiar with YouTubers or are familiar with vloggers, you would know Charles Drippy. His channel is CTFXC. He has been my biggest inspiration and role model since like 2010, like almost 9 years now. And he's in the band We the Kings, which We the Kings are performing at Warped Tour, and I love We the Kings, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal because I can meet the band and then I can also meet my favorite YouTuber, which is my inspiration. So hey guys, I'm filming this part a week after Warped Tour. Like today is Saturday, which is a week since I went to Warped Tour. I'm basically just going to be showing you what I got at Warped Tour and just my experience and how I did get to meet 3 out of the 5 members of We the Kings. So first I'm just going to show you what I got. So basically they were giving out like these free like little bracelets about just saving the animals and going vegan and all this stuff, and we just took them because they were free. So I have mine on. That one is actually my boyfriend's. And then Journeys was giving out these wristbands that just say Warped Tour on them. If my camera wants to focus, they just say Warped Tour on them, and then they actually have like a coupon on the back of them. So I've been wearing these ever since Warped Tour, and I actually have my boyfriend's like wristband like this on my ankle as an anklet because, you know, why not? And then I'm just gonna be showing you what I got. I only got 2 shirts because I usually go crazy at like merch tents and stuff and I get like a million things. First I got this We the Kings shirt that just says We the Kings with the W as skeleton hands. And then I got this shirt that just says Vans Warp 25, and then on the back it says Warp 25. And they actually had a shirt that was black and it said Warped Tour, and then the back had every single band that has ever played at Warped Tour. And I wanted that, but I have too many black t-shirts and I already had bought the black We the Kings one, so I figured why not be different, so I got the white one, which I think is still cool anyway. But anyways, as I said, this was my first Warped Tour ever. I've always wanted to go to Warped Tour, but I never did because when I wanted to go, I just didn't have the money to go. I didn't have a car at the time and blah blah blah, and yeah. So I decided why not go, even though this was like a quarter of the size of normal Warped Tour. It was still a fun experience. It was still really awesome and really fun to go to, and especially because you got access into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I really love going to. So it was just all around a really cool thing to experience. So basically we got there like an hour and a half, 2 hours early. I mean, doors opened at 3. We got there at like 1:20 or something like that, and I thought that they weren't gonna let us in until 3, but they actually let everyone in because I guess the Rock Hall wasn't even supposed to open up until 3, but they were already open. So as soon as we got there, we just walked around a little bit. We checked out like what was going on, what food there was, because we were hungry, and we ended up going in the Rock Hall. We walked around the new exhibit, the Warped Tour exhibit, which I will add some pictures for you guys, where they just had a bunch of like memorabilia from bands that have played at Warped Tour, and I got to see Pete Wentz's and Joe Troman's guitars from a Warped Tour that they played, which I thought was really awesome because if you guys know, I love Fall Out Boy, as I have their signed lithograph over there. So yeah, we just did that, and then we bought some food at the Rock Hall, and we basically secured our spots because this grassy like area right in the middle, and people were already like sitting down, and then they had the stage like already set up, so people were already like standing like front row, and we ended up just sitting down, and basically we weren't even that far. I'll insert a picture of how close we were. So we just stayed there the whole time, and they had like the set times of when the bands were gonna play, and I also had the Warped Tour app that also tells you when the bands were gonna play. So We the Kings were going, I believe it was 7th. They were after Hawthorne Heights, and We the Kings, like I said, were the main reason I was there. So a little goes on, like we were just chilling, waiting, and when it was like close to 4, just note that the whole time I thought Charles was not gonna make it. He kept posting on Instagram that he was delayed at the airport in Georgia because of rain, and he was saying like, I'm really disappointed, like, you know, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And so I was just sitting there kind of keeping my hopes up that he would show up. Maybe around like close to 4, I look over and I see Coley from We the Kings, and in that moment I just like panic, and I'm like, holy shit, like there's Coley like from We the Kings. And then I see Hunter from We the Kings, and then I see Danny and Travis, and I like tell my worker, I'm like, yo, like We the Kings are literally like right there. And they were walking into the Rock Hall, and I didn't want to be one of those people that like follow them around because like they're doing their thing, like I don't, you know, want to invade their privacy. So I was like, you know, they'll come, I was like, you know, they'll come back out, I'll get to meet them. So they ended up coming back out, and they had like this huge like Warped Tour sign, and they were taking pictures. They took a picture as like a band, they took a picture all together in front of their, and then they were taking pictures with fans, and they went behind the barricade where all like most of the bands were like going. And we got up, I was like, let's go, like let's just go, like this is my chance. And Travis was already talking to someone, and Coley was talking to someone, and then like Hunter and Danny were already like underneath the tent where you couldn't see them. And so my boyfriend was getting ready to like take a picture of me and Travis, and like I said, I didn't want to be one of those people that like interrupt him as he was already talking to someone. So I kind of just stayed back, you know, a little bit. Someone ended up like telling them like, come on, like let's go. So they turned around and they left, and I was like, oh well, you know, like I tried. Like around maybe like 6 o'clock, Charles posted on his Instagram story, and he was like, I'm on my way, Warped Tour, like, you know. So at this point I was like, yes, like Charles is gonna be here, like I'm so excited. And he ended up landing in Cleveland like literally 20 minutes before We the Kings were supposed to go on stage. And so during Hawthorne Heights' performance, Charles posted on his story, because I ended up turning his post notifications on because I wanted to keep updated to know if he was going to be here or not. And he posted a picture of like the inflatable that had all the bands on it, and he was like, finally made it. And I was like, yo, like Charles is literally in the same like vicinity as me, like holy shit. So whatever, as Hawthorne Heights were playing, I ended up seeing Charles and the rest of the band underneath the tent, like getting ready to like play. And so after Hawthorne Heights played, they did like the setup for We the Kings, did sound check and everything. And We the Kings came on stage, and you know, they pretty much played all their old songs. I mean, that's like basically like what people know We the Kings are from, are a lot of their older songs. And I was singing my little heart out to every single song. I was so freaking happy. I'll insert pictures and videos. So after they performed, they all went back underneath the tent, and I had already seen people trying to like go to the barricade. So my boyfriend and I ended up going over, and we stood there. Charles cut his right hand on his bass, and so he kept coming like from underneath the tent and cleaning his guitar and stuff. And people kept like trying to get him to come over, and he was saying like, hold on, you know. And this one girl that actually had like an IKTV hat on, which is Charles's like Internet Kill Television, which is like one of his brands, and he went over to her and started talking to her. There was these other girls that he was talking to, and like I said, I was wearing my CTFXC shirt, and so when he was standing like over to the left of where I was, like I was here, he was like, I was here, he was like over here. I went over, and he looked up at me, and he seen my shirt, and he was like, hey, how are you? And then some other girl started talking to him, so he was talking to her, and then as she left, he like looked at me, he was like, hey. And then he like, you know, he was like, you look super familiar. He was like, he was like, we've met before. And I was like, no. He was like, seriously? He was like, you look so familiar. And I was like, well, I was like, no. I was like, but I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Like, I was like, I've been watching you for almost 10 years now. And his face like lit up, and he was like, really? That's so awesome. And he gave me like a high five and stuff. And I was just like, there's so much that I wish I would have told him, because if you guys know, he is his wife is expecting a baby like anytime soon now. and I wish I would have said something like, you know, like good luck with the baby, like I wish you and Allie the best, or I wish I would have just told him how much he meant to me, like how much he means to me and how much he's helped me through a lot, like, and how he's helped me through a lot of stuff. But in that moment I was just basically like so starstruck and so happy that like I didn't know what to say. And he's such a chill and like really friendly person, so he like, you know, kind of eased the conversation, and he was just talking about how he had like a really shitty day and how he didn't think he was gonna make it. And I just told him like, you know, like I was watching on Instagram, like I was really hoping he was gonna make it too. And we ended up like, he asked if I wanted a picture and we got a picture together. And yeah, so basically we just talked about how he almost didn't make it to Warped Tour and how we were really happy that he did make it. And you know, we ended up just saying bye and stuff like that. My boyfriend and I went inside the Rock Hall to use the restroom, and we came back out because we were getting ready to leave. There was actually 3 more performances supposed to happen, but at this point it was already like close to 9 o'clock, and we wanted to get home as soon as possible and try to leave before everyone else was leaving. And so when we came out, right by the Rock Hall doors, I seen Danny standing, which is the drummer from We the Kings, and there was already 2 girls talking to him, and there was already 2 other girls waiting to meet him. So I stood behind those other 2 girls, and when I went up to him, he seen my shirt and he was like, hey, I love your shirt, like, hey, nice shirt, because obviously Charles. And I just said thanks, and we took a picture. I asked him how the show was and everything like that. And then next to him, like a little bit next to him, was Travis, and Travis was like bombarded with so many people, like everyone was trying to take pictures with him. So I went up and I stood there, and I just like, when it was my turn, I just went up to him, we took a picture, I asked him how he was and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I am so grateful and so happy that I did get to meet 3 out of 5 of them. I wish I would have got to meet Hunter and Coley, but at least I got to meet Charles and Travis and Danny. Like, I could not be happier. After all these years of being a fan of Charles and just being a fan of We the Kings in general, finally getting to see them in concert and meeting the one person that I have looked up to half of my life pretty much. Like, I'm 20 now and I've been watching CXC since I was like 10 or 11. It's crazy to me. Yeah, I just, like I said, I feel so blessed and I'm so happy, and just overall had an amazing day. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys went to Cleveland Warped Tour, comment down below and tell me who you met and who was your favorite band or artist that you got to see play. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.